Hey besties, welcome in. I'm Sabrina for those of you who don't know me, and welcome to Black History Month. I'm Black. I'm such a clown. I'm so sorry. Anyway, now is the time that everybody in kind of like the book influence, I hate to call myself an influencer, but you know what I mean. But in the book sphere, now is the time that everybody's busting out their top 10 Black authored books you should read. I love that. Okay. So I just thought, why not give some recommendations that are outside of the typical so we can shine a light on some of these other Black authors. Yeah. Let's start with romance because it's February. So the first recommendation that I have is from Miss Tia Williams, and that is 7 Days in June. Now, Tia Williams can write the hell out of a book, and I had such a good time with this book. I mean, the love was just giving, and it was like such a genuine love story. It was deep too. Like there was some deep stuff that happened in that book, and I was not quite prepared for that, but I love it because I don't really love super fluffy romances. And so this gave me everything that I wanted it to give me. I love her for that. And so because of that, next on deck from her, I've got a love song for Ricky Wilde. I've heard nothing but incredible things about this book, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be just as amazing of a read as 7 Days in June was. And in fact, I also want to pick up her YA book, which is called Audrey and Bash Are Just Friends. That's in the same universe as 7 Days in June. It's the main character from 7 Days. It's her daughter. Like, how cute is that? Also, Tia has another book that's coming out this year. I think it's coming out fairly soon, actually. Now, I have some questions about the cover of that book, but I have zero questions about the content of that book because I'm sure that it's going to be A+ top tier. Okay. Tia Williams, start there. Then I just very recently finished a new book by Denise Williams called The Redo List. And listen, I had such a good time. I mean, I have both a short and a long form video where I am raving about how incredible this romance was. It's a little bit on the fluffier side than, say, a Tia Williams, but like I loved everything about it. Like I could not talk more about how good that book was. And luckily for me, I already happen to own another one of her books. This one is called Just Our Luck. Now, I picked this one up because there is an interracial couple on the cover, and hello. Like many books, I picked it up and put it on my shelf, and that was the end of it. But now I'm like super excited to read it after having read that other book. And I mean, her writing was good. It was good. She'll tell you that she's always going to give you a happily ever after. So if you're into that, if you want to like ensure that, pick up a Denise Williams book. I don't think you're going to have a bad time. Then I have something that's potentially a little controversial. So not having anything to do with her being an author, controversial because I'm a Looney Tune. Okay. So I read Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. Now listen, I only picked up this book because she was coming to my local indie bookstore to do an author talk on her book tour. And the person interviewing her was Kennedy Ryan. So I went to go see Kennedy Ryan. And then I was like, I kind of feel bad going to this lady's author talk, going to her book tour without having ever read any one of her books. So I picked up Curvy Girl Summer. I actually read it on my Kindle, but then it was actually so freaking good that I bought the physical copy so I could go show off. Okay. So I bought the physical copy after having read it on my Kindle because it was that good. And she is hysterical. Like I loved her. I had such a good time at her tour stop. That was the tour for Plus Size Player, which is the second book in the series after Curvy Girl Summer. And the third book, what's it called? Something Blitz. I'm going to put the cover right here. That comes out very soon. I don't know the date of it. I'll put the date on the screen too, but that comes out very soon this year. So, I mean, Danielle Allen, she's a really good writer. I had such a good time with this story. This is one that's a little bit on the fluffier side. It's not fluffy, but I did like the themes that it explored. And I mean, in Curvy Girl Summer, like our MMC, like, yes, okay, that's where you want to be in a romance. It's that good, y'all. That freaking good. Now listen, I have saved the best romance for last. The best Black romance author, in my absolute opinion, and that's what we're here for, right? Is for my absolute opinion. Kennedy Ryan. I told you I went to some other lady's tour stop because Kennedy Ryan was interviewing her. It doesn't get any crazier than that. Like, I absolutely stan this woman. And listen, she's probably frightened of me because of how deep my devotion to her writing goes. But she's that fucking good, you guys. She's that good at writing this. And what I love the most is that her books have so much depth to them. Like, these are romance books, but like, they might as well be literary fiction with romance in them. The romance is still front and center, but it just reads so much like a literary fiction. Like, it is something that is going to pull you in. And maybe, and listen, if you're new to my channel, I use literary fiction to describe any general fiction because I don't know. It just sounds cooler in my head, and that's what just like always comes out of my brain. I don't know why. Literary fiction, contemporary fiction, general fiction, that's all the same to me. I can't fix it, okay? My point being, these are such a good read. I'm holding in my hand right now the Skyland series, which is Before I Let Go. Honey, if you don't do nothing else, you go read Before I Let Go and tell me Kennedy Ryan is not God tier, okay? And then This Could Be Us and Can't Get Enough. Now, the Skyland series has been picked up to be optioned as a TV show. I literally cannot wait for that. Like, when that happens, I need a group of girlfriends who live near me who are going to be dedicated to watching this show on a weekly basis or however often they put it out. If they put it all out at once, we will have a binge party, okay? The Skyland series will rock your freaking world. And I mean, it's got a little bit of everything. Before I Let Go is second chance, or no. Yeah, Before I Let Go is second chance romance. This Could Be Us. I mean, we have like a whole like journey of self-discovery. And Can't Get Enough is Billionaire Boyfriend. Like, I also have read from her Real. This is part of the Hollywood Renaissance series. This is the first book. And like Skyland, this is the interconnected standalone series. The second book in this series is coming out like, I think in May this year. Score. Listen to me. I have never begged for an arc the way I'm about to beg for the arc of Score. I need to read that book today, not in May. I need to read it right now. So if someone who is in charge of Kennedy Ryan Arts is listening to this by chance, perchance, please, I am begging you. I don't know how to tell you how serious I am. I need to read that book today. I will forsake everything. I will forsake the TBR. I will forsake my job, okay? Because I need to read that book. Next up on my docket, in case nobody gets me an ARC copy of Score, I have Longshot. So we're getting into backlist things now. So that will be the next thing that I read, provided Score doesn't show up. Okay. I also have one honorable mention in romance, and that is Casey Mills. And I have right here, You Could Do Damage. Now, I have not read this book. I have not read anything from Casey Mills, but I was told a time will be had by reading this or literally anything else that Casey Mills has written. I was told that by like a group of Black people at the Black People bookstore where I bought this in Louisiana. So I'm apt to believe them. I don't think they would steer me wrong. That's the Black romance quintessentials, according to Sabrina. Let's move on to some nonfiction recs, because yes, you need to be reading your nonfiction too. Now listen, I have said in the past that I'm not a nonfiction reader, and I was looking at my shelves and I'm like, that's actually not quite true. I think what it is I tend to not categorize in my brain nonfiction books in the same way that I do fantasy, romance, general fiction. Like, I almost think of nonfiction more like in the sort of like textbooky sense than actual like reading for pleasure, which, I mean, you can still read nonfiction for pleasure. I'm just told you I'm a little bit off my rocker. So my first nonfiction recommendation is Black Man in a White Coat by Dr. Damon Tweedy. So this is a very interesting read. This is a medical memoir, and this is about obviously a doctor, Dr. Damon Tweedy, who through the course of going to medical school really discovered how the medical profession is taught. They are literally trained to discriminate against Black people, to believe that the pain that we feel is just mostly made up, that we're basically drug seeking, to ignore anything that we say and chalk it up to genetics. Like, oh, well, you're probably diabetic. That's why you have headaches. Like, well, I just found that this book was actually really riveting and also just kind of affirming, because I am a person who has experienced a good deal of medical trauma. And I'm like, not saying that for sympathy. I'm being dead ass. Like, I have talked to so many people, my therapist. This is actual medical trauma that I've experienced. So this I found to be pretty self-affirming. So if you are a person who feels like doctors just don't listen to you or whatever, like, it's probably real. And this is a book for you. In a similar vein, we have Fearing the Black Body by Sabrina Strings. This is about the racist origins of fat phobia. Basically, everything is rooted in racism. And while I found this read to be a little bit harrowing, I actually am so glad that I stuck it out and read it. So, It's a heavier topic, but it's one that I don't think you should avoid, especially if if you are making a really good effort to be an ally, to be anti-racist, to be just a generally good person, especially in our current climate. If you are making an effort to do that, this is the book that will really help you along your journey for that. My next recommendation is Will. This is the autobiography of Will Smith. And first of all, if you do want to read this one, you're going to need the audiobook. The audiobook for this is out of this freaking world. I can't even imagine what it would be like to read the words on the page because the audiobook is a full production. There's music. Listen, get the audiobook, okay? And regardless of what you think about Will Smith, I know there's controversy with Will Smith, but I feel like having read this autobiography really puts perspective onto Will Smith, the person, the man, okay? This is not like something that he came out with after he did the thing. This came out before that. So like when that happened, I was kind of like, bestie, but like also I see why you are this way. I understand. I'm not excusing the behavior, but I can understand because the book really just kind of gave a good picture of who he was. Another really good autobiography by a Black person, Finding Me by Viola Davis. Girl, that book took me on a ride and I was not prepared for it. And like yes, I understand because I think she got an Emmy for that book and for the narration of that book. And 100%, like it was so freaking good. I read this on my Kindle and listened to part of it on audiobook and like I probably going to go back and listen to the whole thing on audio because it was that good. One last autobio that I super loved was Barack Obama's A Promised Land. This is the one that he released after his presidential run was over with. I have actually read all of his books and they were all fantastic. The man just has a way with words. He's a good orator. He's a good writer, a good orator. I mean, he probably had a ghostwriter, but you know what I mean. He's a good storyteller. And I read A Promised Land. Actually, nope, that's not true. He read it to me because he is the narrator of the audiobook himself. And I could just listen to this man talk for hours and hours and hours, which is good news because it was a 35-hour audiobook. 33 hours, 33, 35, something like that. So then a couple that I have not read yet, but I have definitely been promised a good time with 107 Days, your girl Kamala. Listen, regardless of what you think about Kamala, I have been told by a very trusted source that this book in and of itself is a really good backstage view of politics. I have not read it yet, but I've been told that this is an incredible read. So that is coming up on my nonfiction list. And I really want to read it, but I have to be in like a nonfiction mood. And that has not happened like over the holiday season because I want to say that book came out in like maybe October? I don't know. It came out like later in the year and I wasn't really in my nonfiction bag at the moment. My next offering in this category is Black Owned, The Revolutionary Life of Black Bookstores. I was recommended this book in the comments and I looked up the synopsis of it and this is a social justice book. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to read about social justice, especially in 2026. So I cannot wait to read this one. It has already been highly recommended to me by one person in the comments here and I trust you guys. So this is going to be on poppin'. And actually, I think that this might be maybe like the main book that I want to read in February for my personal like Black history nonfiction selection. I think this is going to be it for me. So I'm going to let you guys know. I got one if you need some self-help. That is going to be Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing your self-esteem. I don't really need this kind of self-help per se, but it just sounded like such a good read. And when I was looking it up online, the author said that obviously the primary audience for this is Black women, but honestly, literally anybody could take the lessons, the message from this and improve their own lives. Okay, so I'm sold. I'm sat for it. I'm sold. Like, I don't think I need it, but who doesn't want to just try to improve their life anyway? You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's move on to my favorite, which is fantasy. Let's start with one that I read rather recently, which was Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. This is like everything you could ask for. We have coconut oil on the scalp. We have black mermaids, like culture. Okay. It's pure culture. And I love everything about it. And so I read this and was like, I absolutely have to read book 2. So, I mean, I bought book 2, Soul of the Deep. Did I read it yet? No. This is just a problem that I have in general with I want to read a book immediately and then I put it down. Listen, it's a me problem, okay? It's not anybody, it's not any of the author's problem. It's a me problem exclusively. I apologize for that. But the problem is that I want to read all of the books immediately. So like, how am I supposed to? So Natasha Bowen, pick her up for some YA fantasy, Black Mermaids, okay? Then I have Camila Cole with An Arcane Inheritance. Now listen, I picked this book up like on release day because this book was sold to me by like the influencer sphere, right? By things on the internet as a dark academia that takes place in an HBCU. That is not what this book is. And that's not what this book was supposed to be. So for me, like, it didn't hit quite right, like on the vibe level for me, because I had expectations of something. So I'm telling you right now, do not expect this to be dark academia at an HBCU. That is not what this is. But what this book actually is really freaking good. So if I think about it, if I step back and think about it without those misgivings, the book was so damn good. And Camila Cole can write, like she can write an in-depth story. So I just really recommend that you guys go read this without the expectations that I had going into it. And I think you're going to have a great freaking time. Now, once you're done with that, I do have the next thing on the docket from Camila Cole, which is So Let Them Burn. This one is YA, whereas Arcane Inheritance is adult or new adult-ish, I guess. So she's got you covered no matter which age group you like to read in there. And the next suggestion that I have for you is Brittany S. Lewis's Blood Moon. This was such a good read in October, but like, honestly, the vibes are there for any month of the year. We have werewolves, we have vampires, we have academia, we have enemies to not exactly lovers yet, but I think that when we get to a follow-up for this, we're probably going to become lovers. Brittany, when's the next book coming out? I also read I, Medusa by Ayana Gray, and this was her foray into adult fantasy, whereas I believe her previous works are all young adult fantasy. I had a good time with this, and I love a good Medusa retelling. Medusa has become a Black woman, like as she should be, right? The locks, right? It only makes sense if you think about Medusa. I don't know why this is the first time Medusa has been a Black woman, but I'm here for it. Now, I do have some recommendations, and these are fantasy books that I have on my long-reaching TBR. You see all the books behind me. They're all unread. So I have a large number of books on my TBR. And these are all fantasy books by Black authors that have been recommended to me by other people who I very much trust, whose book taste I happen to think is impeccable. And they have all told me that I will not have a bad time with any of these books, okay? So the first one is Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. The follow-up to that is actually Bones at the Crossroads. Yes, everyone said that this is such a good story. And not only is it by a Black author, it's by a Black male author, which I think is it's probably like the rarest fish in the sea out there. 100%. I cannot wait to read this, and I'm a little bit ashamed that I haven't read it yet. You see, I have problems though. Along the same lines, we have N.K. Jemison's It's the Broken Earth series, but the first one of that is the 5th season. And basically, if you have not read this series, have you even read Black fantasy? And so I guess, because I haven't read it yet, the rest of them are up there. I guess I have not read Black fantasy yet. So you can join me in reading the Black fantasy so that we can get entry into this club. You know which one is like my favorite, my most highly anticipated, I can't believe I haven't read this yet because I really want to read it, but I've been putting it off because it's not finished yet. The Legend-Born Cycle by Tracy Deonn. I cannot tell you how much I want to read this book, but I am afraid of getting started with this book and being left on a cliff somewhere and being super upset about not being able to continue. Are there 3 books that are out? 4 books that are out. I think there are 4 books that are out now, and I think it's planned to be a 5-book series. I could be wrong about that, but what I think it is however many are planned, we have access to one less than the total, whatever that, okay? So I'm just afraid that there's not going to be a resolution and I'm going to be stuck waiting on the book. And I happen to just know that this series is so freaking good that I'm going to be upset by that. So I haven't started it yet. It's a problem. It's a problem and I really need to stop doing that. But, I have all these other books to distract me. So that's where we're at with that. But you absolutely need to pick this up and get started on it, okay? It's Black History Month. What are you waiting for? Along the same veins with that is Tony Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. This one has been picked up to be a TV show. So we got to get started on it, okay? This is, I think it's a trilogy. I don't know. It doesn't say on the book itself. Look, listen, can publishers, can you help me? Like, can you please put the trilogy name and what number this book is in the trilogy on the cover, on the spine, so I don't have to play guessing games when I'm at the freaking bookstore? It's so annoying. Anyway, this has been optioned into a TV show, and I understand that it is in the works now. It is on its way. So Children of Blood and Bone is quintessential. We need to start reading that before the TV show comes out so we can make our notes and see which one was better. And the other book that I have for you in the category of books that I haven't read yet, but I'm told are such an amazing time, is This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings. And this one's on my 26 and 26. So I'm going to be reading it very, very soon, in the next 11 months at least, because it looks so good. It sounds good. It looks good. The people told me it was good. So I'm here for it. You go pick it up and we can read it together. How about that? Okay, and I do have one more fantasy recommendation for you that I have not read yet. That is I'll Make a Spectacle of You. This just came out very recently. I happen to own it on my Kindle. Haven't read it yet, but this one is promising all of the dark academia HBCU vibes that I was told I was going to get in that other book. Okay, this is the book. Okay, let's move on to our last category, which is just kind of like general fiction, other books that don't fit neatly into the fantasy, the romance. Okay, I have 4 books in this category for you. The first one is a historical fiction, and that is by Mr. Ricky Fain. This is called The Devil Three Times. This is on my 26 and 26. Let me just start there in my meager defense. I've not read it yet. I met the man and told him to his face that I hadn't read his book yet and asked him to autograph it for me anyways. And then I told him, because I think I met him in September, and I told him I was absolutely going to read it in October because Devil, October, right? That did not happen. And I do feel extremely bad about that. I feel like that is a poor presentation on my part. I'm so sorry, Ricky. Listen, it's on the 26 and 26. That's all I got for you. Is it's going to happen very, very soon. I'm a terrible person. I'm so sorry. There's so many books, though. I mean, I paid for it, so he still got my money. That counts for something, right? First of all, he is a lovely gentleman, so I recommend you read it just because he's a great guy. Second of all, this has gotten really rave reviews from the people that I trust, and it is kind of like a slept-on book, so I can't wait to get into it, and I think that you should pick it up and read it too. Then we have James by Percival Everett. Now listen, this book is heavy. It's deep. This is a reimagining of Huckleberry Finn from the perspective of Jim, the slave, but put some respect on his name. His name is James. You're not going to just be calling him Jim like he's your boy. So this is such an incredible book. It's I feel like it's a quintessential read. Okay. If you are trying to be a diverse reader, if you would like to read great books by Black authors, if you want some perspective on historical events, even though Huckleberry Finn is made up, this is not really made up, okay? You need to read this book. I want to caution you that you need to be in the mind space to read this book. It is heavy. I feel slightly traumatized by it. I do not regret reading it, but it really took me on a ride, okay? I don't know that everyone will be as impacted by it as I am. I am just in general a person who is heavily impacted by reading Black trauma. I don't know. I can't, because I just can't do it. Even if you are like me, I still recommend you read it. I just recommend that you prepare yourself for it and that you have some fluffy reads to go around it to soften the mush in your brain. If you are not a person who is impacted by something like that, read it, pick it up, read it. Don't even prepare. Just know that this is going to be a heavy book. Okay. Here's a good one. It's still impactful, but it's just funny as fuck. This is called New Nigeria County, and I don't know if it was published in written form. I feel like I heard that it was only available as an audiobook, and it doesn't really matter because what I'm about to tell you is that you need to listen to this as an audiobook. New Nigeria County is a satire, and the author of this got her start on TikTok. Her TikTok is basically flipping societal norms. And so in her world that she has created on TikTok, women are the gender in charge. So men are like stay-at-home fathers. They don't really work, like if they do, they get cutesy little titles like boy boss, and and the women are like the powerhouses in business, in industry. And it also flips the American race norm. So white people are the minority and very much looked down on, and everyone in the inner city, all the black people, black and brown people, are in power. They are the upper echelons of society, and it is done in such a humorous manner, but it really does point out the hypocrisy of everything that happens. And so you just listen to the book, listen to the audiobook, go over to her TikTok and watch her videos. I'll put it somewhere, but it's so good. It's so well done. And I just love it. My favorite is when in her TikToks, my favorite is when she is meeting a person and she's like, "Can I touch your hair?" And then she wipes her hand on her shirt. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay. Because real talk, that is what happens. And yeah, don't ask to touch my hair. No, you cannot. So no, I'm being serious. That is highly recommended. And it is funny, but it is impactful, and it will definitely give you pause to think. My last recommendation is something that I want to read like ASAPly. Okay. This is Black AF History by Michael Harriot. Let me just tell you what it says inside this book. It says, America's backstory is a whitewashed mythology implanted in our collective memory. It is a sugar-coated legend based on an almost true story. I am pretty sure that this book is going to have me in tears from laughter. But that being said, it has also been said that this is kind of a reckoning of American history, and we're not going to ignore the Black perspective of it anymore. So I don't know, y'all. I do not know, but I have been told great things. And so I am ready to read this. And I think that you should read it too. And in fact, I'm pretty sure, it's Black AF history. We have Black History Month. I'm pretty sure that this is going straight onto the TBR for February because it only makes sense to read it, right? So there we have it. I hope that in this, you have found something in the category of books that you like to read that you can add on to your February TBR. If you don't get to it in February, you need to be reading books that are written by Black people all year long, like we all do. So don't just be like, well, I didn't get to it, so oh well. Pick up some of these books and start reading them if you haven't already. If you are already a prolific reader of Black authored books, share with me what your favorites are down in the comments and what other Black authors do we absolutely need to be reading, okay? I hope that your February is an incredible month of reading. Let me know if you pick up one of these books and read it in February, because I really want to know. I would like to know. So with that said, thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you all in the very next video.